Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome back to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt, on the radio, on podcasts, on Facebook Live, and on YouTube. You can listen to this program on YouTube. We break it down into 4 different segments so that you can watch it while you're doing the laundry or washing the dishes, walking the dog, or just waiting for the bus. So go to YouTube and search for Talk Law Radio and look for the Lady Justice and the red, white, and blue logo. We're going to be talking about legacy this segment because Marquardt Law Firm focuses on last wills and living trusts and tax-protected inheritance plans.
And now, it's time for the Talk Law Radio Legacy Spotlight. What's your legacy? Sponsored by Marquardt Law Firm.
So, have you been thinking about that question? What does legacy mean to me? And
Yeah. I mean, we've kind of thought about that, and it's kind of hard. We actually don't have kids, so we don't really have much to be able to pass down. But I mean, for us, I think our legacy really is we want to be able to help other people realize their dreams. So anything that we can be able to do, whether it's starting that business, growing that business, or just anything to be able to help them, be successful. So that's kind of the legacy I think we'd like to be able to have, is to say that we've been able to help other people become successful.
And we've done no harm.
There's probably people that have told you that before, right? They say, thanks to Mike and Laura, my business is successful.
Yeah. I mean,
we just helped a gentleman sell his business in Connecticut, and he was in a really bad franchise, and he's happy now, and he's going to be going into a new franchise that we recommended to him that was a lot more suitable for his style. I mean, he's the salesman, but he's not the paper guy. And this other business was very administratively heavy, and now he just gets to go out and sell, and he's supported by a very good franchise system.
Yeah, that's great. Having those wins, having those customer say thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, let's go back to commercial financing, because I remembered I had a prospect call the office to get some business advice because he had wanted to buy a franchise, and so he was looking for a loan online, and he clicked on this site and talked to some people, and they said they could get, I think it was $50,000 that he needed for his franchise buy-in, and they said, we can get you $50,000 so that you can make that buy-in. And what he got back was a stack of credit cards.
Yes.
Tell us what would you call that?
That is called credit card stacking. So what they do is they will apply for, however many credit cards they can. They'll apply for ones that have the 0% interest for 12 months.
That's their hook.
Yeah, that's their hook, is 0% interest for 12 months, and that you can get a large credit line on that. Mm-hmm. And stack those together, and and chances are, if he had 7 credit cards, he probably had $7,000 of line of credit on those that they were able to do cash withdrawals from. And that's the idea, is you get these cards and you take the cash out on those cards, and you have that for a year for 0% interest. And
well, wait a minute, you still have to pay 3%.
But you still have to pay.
And that's the other thing, people don't realize there's a 3%
the fee
to turn it into cash.
Yeah.
So it's not free.
Well,
plus you have to pay for them to do it, which is something you could do yourself.
But in this case, he didn't know that that's what they were going to do. He thought it was a loan.
Right.
For the $50,000.
And that's kind of the problem. If they're not upfront about it and they don't tell you that it's credit card stacking, then you run into that.
I think your biggest clue is they want you to set up a separate email address and a password so that they can refer it back. And if you have to go ahead and okay something like this is me, that's the chance that you're doing credit card stacking. there's
That
a
sounds
place for
weird.
it, but it's really, there's better ways of doing things than doing a credit card stacking.
Yeah.
And it can also tank your credit.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We were talking to an individual just this week where he started his business and he did the same thing that he didn't really know, but he had like an 800 credit score, and then once they did that and got him, I think, 4 or 5 credit cards for his business, he ended up having a 620 credit score, and he's kind of been digging out of that because he's asking us about getting some financing to kind of continue his business a little bit, and certainly we'll be able to hopefully find him something, but with a 620 credit score, it makes it a lot more difficult. So.
Right, but as you were saying in the first segment or the second segment, maybe some of those commercial lenders will understand the problem that he was in. It was sort of artificially caused.
Right, and we certainly can be able to help them work their way out of that as well, because we do have like a tool that we allow businesses to use to help them build their business credit. And we didn't really talk about that too much, but there are ways to build your business credit to keep it away from.
Well, if you can, say something about that.
Yeah. So we do have a tool. You can go to our website, uscapitallenders.com. And we'd have it's a do-it-yourself tool that helps you build that business credit. It gives you everything you need to start establishing your business away from your own personal credit, because most of the time people are getting loans and everything on their personal credit. You want to start building up that business credit to be able to get those loans through the business, and it takes a little bit of time too. But we do help people be able to do that as well.
And it also has lifetime credit monitoring with it, so you're able to monitor your business credit, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't misspeak. So, I mean, it is a really good product. I mean, you can do it with our guidance, which we would charge, of course, but there is a do-it-yourself tool that has proved to be very helpful.
Okay, that's interesting. Never heard of that before. Again, we're talking about commercial financing, loans for businesses, and how U.S. capital lender is different than a bank. Say again what the difference is for the people just now tuning in.
Well, banks are very specific. They have their own, they have a set of interest rates that they have. They have their own money. They have their own regulations that they have to follow. With us, we are brokers. We have access to hundreds of different lenders that can range from investment groups to non-institutional lenders that look more at the story. They don't look at just the numbers of how much cash flow you have, what's your credit score, how much time have you been in business. They'll look at the bigger story and be able to make those decisions. They have that flexibility to be able to do that.
And sometimes banks will not lend in a certain segment. So, for example, restaurants, a lot of banks are very nervous about loaning to a restaurant because there is a high failure rate. So, we're kind of, agnostic when it comes to whoever we're working with, and we will find a lender that will work in that category or segment.
Exactly.
Good point, yeah. One of the big construction companies has been in the news for having a bad deal and going into bankruptcy. And so I've heard some of the banks in town are nervous about lending to construction companies.
Depending on construction, but take oil and gas, for example. I would say several years ago, that was big. Lenders were falling all over themselves to lend in oil and gas. Now, that industry, it's hard to find lenders. We have a few lenders that can still lend in that industry, but a lot of banks, a lot of lenders kind of shy away from that. So it just kind of depends on the economic cycle as well.
Yeah, it's good to have another source of funding besides traditional banks and credit unions.
Yes.
It is. I'd have to say that most of our referrals do come from bankers. Because they want to help their customers. And we're not saying banks are bad. We've never said that. Banks have their place. They do get you better rates than sometimes what we can get because, they're the bank. But we do work a lot with bankers who, may not be able to lend to that restaurant or the business hasn't been around long enough. So we are able to kind of fill that void. And they're able to keep that relationship. And I think that's very powerful because, your banking relationship is very important.
Yes. And the idea, too, is to get them bankable so they can go back to the bank where they can get the better deals.
Awesome. Y'all are like a hidden gem I didn't know about you. There's a lot of business people out there that would love to realize their dreams and start a business and probably have some great ideas, and they just don't know how to get started.
Yeah, and we're happy to help out in any way we can.
We can also turn a business into a franchise. We're working with a local business right now that is looking to franchise their business.
Yeah, I'm sure that's difficult to do.
Yes.
It's
Well,
not
I mean,
really.
there's a lot to it.
There's a lot to
yeah.
it. Okay. One last thing that I wanted to talk about was how you help businesses offer benefits.
Well, we are a solutions type company, so we want to be able to find solutions that are affordable, that don't really impact margins too negatively, and we came up with a product that is geared mostly in the service industry. It's not health insurance, but it is a
Employee benefit.
Yeah, it's an employee benefit. It includes zero deductible telehealth and telemedicine. It also has roadside assistance included in it, identity theft protection, and it starts off at a low $34.95 a month at the lowest tier, all the way up to I think $54.95, which includes a really good, robust prescription plan. Yeah, exactly. And it I've run the numbers on different industries, and it really is a good retention tool because, we hear a lot of times people quit, and we have caregivers go into my parents' house and they lost a really good caregiver because they didn't offer any benefits. And we're like, okay, we had the same problem when we owned our company. So we worked with some companies and we kind of put this all together, and we came up with this program. And it also has a lot of good discounts as well for things that you buy every day, as well as, attractions, travel, etc. So it's a very good program that is geared toward that part-time worker, because you really can't afford to give part-time workers benefits. And then we also have insurance programs for gig workers or people who are 1099, and very affordable. I mean, because that's what we do. I mean, we're in the same boat. So we researched and found these products so that we can help not only ourselves, but now we can help others. We are licensed agents. Texas, Florida, Oklahoma. No, not Oklahoma. Ohio.
Okay.
One of them O states.
Right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I had a lot of fun learning about how you help business owners.
Oh, well, thank
Thanks.
you.
Yeah.
No, we had a lot of fun too. This is great.
Yeah, so you need to do some more promoting, because I really think that a lot of businesses out there could be helped.
Yes. Yeah, definitely so. And we're trying to get out as much as we can. We're only two people, so.
Right. But you have a Facebook page, Instagram page.
Yes, we have a Facebook page, Instagram page. We're also on X. Not a whole lot on X. I mean, we're also older, so trying to get into that social media stuff is kind of a challenge for us. But we're working on that. We're getting better at it.
Yeah, we're still working on how to text with 2 fingers.
Is it easier for people to find you on social media or U.S. Capital Lenders?
LinkedIn
Yeah, LinkedIn, social
okay.
media.
Mike Pierce,
and Laura Bailey Pierce.
Laura Bailey Pierce on LinkedIn. That's it for today. If you have questions about business, call these guys. I'll talk to you later.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Each week, attorney Todd Marquardt talks about the law. His mission with the Talk Law Radio show and podcast is to help you discover your legal issue blind spots. In the beginning, God had one law. Don't eat from the fruit of that tree. Then came the 10 Commandments. Now we have federal, state, and municipal lawmakers that won't stop creating new laws. Laws that might impact you without you knowing it. Listen to the show and drop a line on Facebook or email host@talklawradio.com and let the host know what you think of the show, the topics you want to hear, and whether you want to be a guest.